What is up, my proletariat? I hope you comrades are doing fine today. Zoop here with a preview of the upcoming Russian Tier 10 battleship Kreml. Well, I think that's how it's pronounced. I had trouble finding the correct pronunciation for it, but the bottom line is, the name of this ship is Kremlin, and I'm going to refer to it as Kremlin because I think that's the easiest way to do it without embarrassing myself trying to pronounce something in Russian. The Russian line of battleships is no doubt causing a lot of buzz and has piqued the interest of quite a few players. As always, this ship is a work in progress and as a result is subject to change. Due to a trip to the Keys for my sister's wedding, I got a bit of a late start trying out the Russian battleships. Despite that, I've been keeping up with what the other CCs have been saying in our various CC forums, so I went into testing this ship knowing what to expect. First, you'll notice right off the bat the hit points on the Kremlin. 108,300. At face value, this seems like an absurd amount. It is, but there's a definite reason for that. You need them, every bit of them. When you're playing this ship, plan to be on fire. Plan to be on fire a lot. Honestly, I can recall few ships that catch fire and burn as easily as the Kremlin. Kremlin feels like she was made of paper. Get it? Paper ship because she's never mind. And I should probably be calling her a he, since that's what Russians call their ships. He feels like a wooden ship with a 4-inch coat of lacquer that's been doused with gasoline prior to sailing out to battle. I mean, Kremlin catches fire a lot, but I suspect that's a balance measure. That's one reason for the Titanic size amount of hit points. The second is that you're limited in your repair parties. Yep, 4 regular or 5 once you add premium damage control party. This means you have to be very careful with your damage control. This is also combined with the fact that the Kremlin is big and slow. Max speed is 29.5 knots and her rudder shift is 16.3 seconds. It takes a lot to get her moving and it takes a lot to get her turning. The Exxon Valdez is more maneuverable than the Kremlin is. So, about that damage control. In other battleships, I might have repaired 2 fires blazing in certain circumstances, but on this ship, I'll let 2 burn out, especially if there's CVs in the round, which we all know there are a lot of right now. Fortunately, your heals are pretty good. I cannot impart on you how important damage control is on this ship and using it at the right time. Do not waste them. Now, let's talk guns. Your guns are big, 18-inch big, and they pack a whole lot of hurt. You've got 9 of these suckers, so Yamato players should feel somewhat at home, though you won't want to quite play this ship like a Yamato. A little on that later. Your gun's dispersion can be a little squirrely at range, but as you close in, they resemble the Soviet railguns we're all familiar with. And they hurt. A lot. Don't expect fast reload. At 34 seconds base, you can get them humming at just under a lethargic 30 seconds with the right modules. This won't impact Kremlin's big hurt potential though. Now, before I get into overall impressions, I want to touch on the AA of the Kremlin. I did not spec this ship for AA whatsoever. Despite this, her AA is pretty darn stout. In rounds heavy laden with CVs, I shot down a lot of planes. With no effort, I might add. Well, effort was minimal. I did use AA sector reinforcement, which I do by habit now, and you should as well. Still, even on the weak side of the ship, I shot down a lot of planes. Many players right now wonder how they should play with CVs in the game. If you're in this battleship, or any other battleship, play the game as if CVs weren't there. If a CV drops on you, the torps are going to do so minimal damage, it doesn't really matter. A full volley from a ZOW will do more damage than most midway drops. I mean, don't completely ignore aircraft carrier planes. Maneuver if you can, but if it comes down to laying yourself broadside to another battleship or eating torps, eat the torps, and trust in your AA. I'm really tempted to do an AA spec in testing this ship just to see how nasty the AA can be. So how do you play the Kremlin? Who is this battleship for? Don't expect a ship you can linger in the back with. It's been widely noted that the Russian player base likes to brawl, more so than NA and EU. That is what this ship and all other Russian battleships were designed to do. This ship gets stronger and stronger the closer you are to the enemy. It really is somewhat bizarre, but I love seeing a ship like this added to the game. On that note, be leery of previews of the ship saying she is super amazing strong with Russian stellinium shells and armor. I mean, Kremlin shells are very strong, and his armor is very, very stout. But the ship is not invulnerable by any stretch of the imagination. In the right hands, Kremlin will be damaging, but any battleship in the right hands will be damaging. This battleship will be hard for some, and possibly many players, to capitalize off of, mainly because this ship is so strong closer in. There's a skill to brawling. If you close in too soon, you run the risk of exposing yourself to the enemy with little or no support. If you do that in this ship, you will get melted. Plain and simple. And then on the flip side, if you wait too long to push, you won't be able to capitalize off of all of this ship's numerous strong points. So yes, while this ship is very strong in many aspects, you have to capitalize off its strengths. You can't just sit in the back like a Yamato and snipe at 20 kilometers. Your guns aren't as accurate as the Yamato at range, and if you sit way in the back, you're just going to get melted from range. Sub 15 kilometers, this ship is an absolute terror. Kremlin's massive hit pool, massive guns, and radar should give pause to every class in the game. Oh yeah, Kremlin has radar. A nice little tidbit there. So no class is truly safe from this ship. If you're playing against Kremlin, your best option in a cruiser is to sling HE from behind an island and to not get caught in the open. It doesn't matter what you're in and how well you are angled. He's going to hurt you. If you are caught, use that 30-second reload time Kremlin's guns have to bug out fast. If you think slinging AP at him, even if broadside and close, will cause a dent, think again. You do not want to be within 10 kilometers from a Kremlin in any ship, unless you have superiority in numbers and a lot of HE. Seriously, you can bounce a lot of AP in this ship up close. Overall, this ship is a lot of fun. It offers a very nice change of pace in that it is truly made for brawling and not sitting in the rear. Kremlin is strong, but a balanced strong in its flammability and need to use damage control properly. Kremlin is very much a go big or go home type of ship, and will shake things up in a very exciting way. Anyhow, hope this gives you a decent idea of what to expect. I wish you all the best of luck in the wars to come. Zoop out.